Yep.
Can you speak closer to your mic? Because you're kind of light.
All right. How are we all doing? Okay. The first thing I'd like to ask everybody to do is to mute yourself. Whoops. Yeah, is to mute yourself so we don't have feedback. And I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the regularly scheduled meeting of the City of Syracuse Landmark Preservation Board. Today is April 1st. President of today's meeting are, Kate, can you go through that?
We have Cynthia Carter, Dan Leary, Don Radke, Julia Marshall, Lisa Tonzi, and Bob Haley and Tom Cantwell. And Jeff Romano is excused today.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I would like a motion to accept the minutes from the March 18th meeting. Somebody raise your hand or?
Oh, yeah, I got Dan.
Okay, do we have a second?
Yep. Julia, yep.
Okay, thank you very much. Any changes or modifications? If so, unmute yourself and speak them. No modifications? Okay, hearing none, seeing none. All in favor of accepting the minutes as submitted?
Aye.
Raise your hand. Anybody opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Old business, CA-21-01, modification 1, 506 West Onondaga Street, the signage. Ed, you got the floor.
Oh, hi there. Thank you. Would you like me to share my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Kate, can you get him, allow him to do that?
Yeah, he can do it. He's able to do it. Yep.
Do you guys see it?
Yep.
Okay. So the last meeting, we went through another couple of variations of the sign, and so we're moving forward with a monument type sign. And what you're seeing is actually was just done by Fast Signs a couple of days ago, which will try to incorporate the same stone and masonry that would mimic the texture and the color of the existing building. And then we're going to have the arch sign on top. I still might play with the base being a little bit more, I think it shows 4 inches there. So this is pretty much the detail of it. And that's where we're at. So we hopefully that this is going to be approved by the board and we can move it and get it out there. The next thing is the sign application, which will be done by Fast Signs. Yep, go ahead.
Okay, good. Just for clarification, this will be 6 feet wide and 12 feet high, correct?
Yes, it is a 6 and a 6. Yes.
Okay. Any questions by any board members? Comments?
Just Ed, could you review the location? Thank you, by the way, for this effort you and your client have gone through. Could you just verify in your site plan the location?
Can you see the site plan right now? I've got the arrow right on it.
Yeah.
So right now we're proposing to put it right there, right near the sidewalk. But the pole is right here on this side, so we'll take down the pole. And this, we're still, this is proposed. I haven't. It's not set in stone, but it's got to be some place on this face. So this is right now we're showing it right near the new sidewalk.
How close is it to the side? Sorry, how close is it to the sidewalk, Ed? And
there's no dimensions, so I mean at least probably 5, 6 feet probably.
Yeah, I don't know the requirement either. I would just think that a few feet back, as required by your property line or the setback, as required, would be fine.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna have to locate it perfectly. We haven't done that quite yet. We're just trying to see. This is actually put on the screen by Fast Signs without me really getting a chance to go through it. I just got it yesterday, so but that's probably near the location.
When you have that verified, just send that into Kate.
Cynthia, go ahead.
Clarification,
Okay.
is the sign going to be parallel to the street sidewalk or parallel to the entrance sidewalk?
It's in the, I guess it's parallel to the sidewalk.
Which sidewalk?
So when you're, the
The
new
street
sidewalk
side-
that's right. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I meant the new sidewalk that's going here. So it would be, as you're coming down Onondaga Boulevard, you're going to see it from either side. Can
It's
you see it right
perpendicular
there?
from the main sidewalk.
Yeah, it's perpendicular
from the street.
from the street.
And the street,
Right.
yes.
And it's in, interior illumination material was something
Yes.
unclear about what is illuminated. Is the background solid and the letters and logo illuminated?
The information of all illumination is shown right here. Double-sided cabinet sign. The letters themselves, is all part of the sign. So the whole Pathfinder, that's all the information in green is part of the illuminated sign. I'm sorry, in this grayish green, that's all the illuminated sign. The 506 would be a raised, like aluminum letter.
Right.
The address is not part of the sign. So all the illumination is the 6x6, and it's white LED illumination. We got 3/4 inch push through acrylic logo, white acrylic, green translucent, blackout metallic vinyl overlay. So there's the technical aspects of the sign right there.
I make a motion to accept as submitted.
Sorry, Cynthia has a.
Wait a minute, wait a
Okay.
minute. We've got a motion, so we'll have a
Wait.
second, then we'll have discussion. Do we have a second on the motion?
Cynthia wanted to say something, I think.
Cynthia can say something in discussion because there's been a motion made. Somebody please mute. Somebody's got to mute. We can't hear. Okay. There's been a motion made, so the procedure is we need a second on the motion, and then we'll have discussion. Do we have a second on the motion?
Second.
Second. Okay, Cynthia, you've got a comment?
Okay, my comment was when we asked for a monument sign and we wanted something more in this human scale, something that was appropriate for a historic district. I assumed, and maybe wrongly, that we meant a monument that had a proportion that was more human scale. Most monument signs in historic districts have the base that's only about 3 feet high. This is twice that high. And because of the height, we're suddenly at 12 feet instead of what is the normal 6 to 7 feet. So although they gave us the monument sign, I think that the scale is still inappropriate for a historic district. That's my comment.
Any other comments? The only comment I would make, I understand what Cynthia's saying, and I would normally agree. Yet in this particular setting, this is probably the most appropriate sign of anything in the, in that particular setting, and it has been reduced from 20 feet. That's just my comment.
I had one comment that I'd like to
Yes,
make.
Tom.
One of the things that has irritated me about especially looking and driving in Syracuse is the whole business with street numbers, that the numbering on the buildings is either absent or it's put in some sort of place where it is not at all obvious. This looks like it would be pretty easy to figure out what the number of the building on West Onondaga Street is. But I certainly want it big enough on the sign for it to be obvious. I wish people really were more careful about the house numbers, but both in commercial and residential districts, sometimes it is extremely difficult to keep yourself oriented where you are on a street.
Any other comment? If not, we have a motion on the floor that's been seconded.
I wanted to make one brief comment. Sorry, feedback here. I agree with Cynthia's comment, and I think another board member mentioned a lower scale. I think the effort's been made here to reduce what was an inappropriate sign to a more appropriate sign. I do agree with Cynthia's comment, and I think another board member, that if the base were smaller, even 3 to 4 feet tall, that then it becomes a pedestrian scale sign. And there are 2 of those across the street, one at the coffee shop and another one down the way, that are definitely pedestrian scale. They're probably less than 5 to 7, they're probably less than 7 feet tall. And I've looked at other banks since we've been looking at this property, and some of the other banks have monument signs that are like a 2-foot base, 3-foot base, and a 4-foot sign. So they're all under 5 to 6 feet tall. So I think we've done it. The applicant has done a good job to bring this to the reduced scale. But I do agree with the comments about that this is still a large, oversized for a truly pedestrian scale sign. Thank you.
For the
Ed,
record,
do
I
you
agree
have
with Bob
any
and
comment
Cynthia.
from your client's point of view?
Dan made a comment.
Yeah, we heard it.
Don was talking.
Who's talking about?
Go ahead, Don.
I was asking Ed if he has any comment on the potential of reducing it further. If not, we'll vote on it as it stands.
It was made this large for a few reasons. One was we worried about getting it too close to the ground and being damaged from vandalism, and we were trying to get a little bit higher off the ground. We were trying to match the scale of the base of the existing building. I think those were the 2 major reasons why it is as high as it is. The lower we got it down, we were just afraid it was going to get vandalized in a lot of ways. So, I mean, could I reduce it down a foot? I don't know. I mean, without going through this with the owner again, we've done a few times around at this. So would it be impossible to lower it? Maybe not. I don't think it would be, but it would be another discussion, and I'd have to, there's a fine line to where does it go to, versus as high as it
Okay.
goes. I know we're well within our our square footages and things like that.
Okay, there's been a motion made to approve as submitted. That has been seconded. We've had discussion. Kate, could you do a roll call vote? All in favor of the motion?
I'll start with Cynthia. Sorry, you'll have to unmute.
I'm going to abstain.
Are you actually, what would be your reason for abstaining?
I don't want to stop the project. I think the project is excellent.
It's a yay or nay vote. It's a yay or nay vote unless you have a conflict.
Okay, then
Nay, okay. Dan?
I'm going to vote nay, subject to the possibility of reducing the brick from 6 feet high to 4 feet high.
Okay, so Dan's a nay.
Dan's a nay. Okay. We have Julia.
I'm voting for it.
Lisa,
I'm a yay.
Bob,
Yes.
and Tom.
Yes.
Okay,
That's-
motion carries.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ed, what I would ask you to do, the motion carries as submitted. If I would ask you if you could talk to your client, although it's not required because it's been approved. If you could lower it a foot or 2 or 3, that would be terrific. And just let Kate know along with when you've confirmed the location of the sign.
No problem. We'll discuss it, and hopefully, I'll give it the information as soon as we have the comments.
Okay, thank you very much, Ed, for your
Ed.
patience.
Okay.
Thanks, Ed.
Yes.
Thanks, Ed.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Moving forward, we have certificate of appropriateness, CA-21-05, 120 Windsor Place. Tree removal. Is that applicant on, or Kate, are you doing that?
Actually, I'm not sure if the applicant is here, for Windsor Place. I'm looking at the number. I don't see him, so I think I can do that. Ed, could you stop sharing your screen?
Yeah, I'm trying to get off here. 1 second here. Okay. Here we go.
Let me see if I can get this up here. All right. Okay. Whoop.
Bumps.
Nice screen, whoever has it.
What?
Is that me?
Yep.
Why?
Just to work.
Somebody's got their homepage up.
Whoop. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, because something's happened here. Hold on, let me see. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm back. Oh no, that's still Ed's screen. So let me hold on.
Okay.
Let me see if I can share my screen.
I'm having a hard time getting off here. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, we're off.
All right. All right.
Okay, thank you.
And let me see if I can. Okay, Windsor Place. Here we go. Can you? What screen are you looking at?
Looking at your narrative.
Oh,
Old business, new business.
there we go.
Site.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is for removal of 3 trees at Windsor Place. As you can see, they're in the backyard, and they are these trees. I believe they're, and I wrote in my staff report that they're volunteers. What I meant was volunteer. And yeah, they appear to, yeah, these are trees, I think, that are past their due.
Okay, that seems pretty straightforward. Do I have somebody make a motion?
I make a motion.
To
I'll
approve?
second.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Is there any indication of tree replanting?
Not at this time, but I will ask that of the applicant.
That would be good.
Well, there's a motion that's been seconded. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Thank you very much. CA-21-6, 1235 James Street. Is that applicant on?
I am here.
All right, great.
Okay, Kate, if you could, there you go.
Yep.
Okay, you've got the floor. Mr. Wiles.
Oh, all right. So I don't know if you can see the brown line that's in here for the addition of the sign. This is to build off of our neighbor's fence along the back. It says chain link on the survey here. I don't think it's been that for a very long time. It never was while I was here. Except for that there is at the corner, if you can see the how it kind of turns the corner and goes toward James Street. There is a remnant of it's really not a chain link, it's more like a wire fence, and you could just pull that straight out. But the neighbor is John Vigilati back there, coming off of Sedgwick Drive. But they have a fence that we would like to match as closely as possible, but theirs isn't. We would like to use cedar, as you can see in the description there, with a flat top, 6-foot privacy fence that would match in style, except that it would be made from cedar, connecting to the garage. Yeah, there we go. You can see that there is Vigilati's garage is at the very bottom of that, with the black roof, and our garage is the one with the red roof. So there's a piece that would connect to his fence to close that and then the longest piece would run from his fence toward James Street and connect to our deck. To enclose the deck, the steps are right there at the east side. We want to protect our property there. We've had a break-in attempt on that deck, and several times while we've been out there, we've had people to approach us while we were out there barbecuing or with our daughter. There she is.
There she is.
They just kind of wander up and they've asked for money. They've just kind of started conversations with us for some unknown reason. They've tried to sell things while we're out there, and we'd rather just have our deck be private back there. And then enclosing piece off the garage in the back to connect to the back of the house there as well.
Okay, Jason, I have a question on the front part of the fence towards the front elevation of the house.
Yeah.
Where is that fence going to meet the house?
If you can go down to the picture where my daughter was, Kate.
Right there.
Right there where she is.
Yep.
Because the steps to the deck are right there below her, and that's where we're having problems with people wandering in.
No, I'm talking towards. Okay, I don't see the deck.
Yeah, I think Don, just to help on this. By the way, your daughter sold me on the whole concept.
Absolutely.
But where the
She's a pretty good kid.
Where the pictures of your daughter, the cedar fence will continue in that line all the way to your east property line. And only one comment there, and I appreciate your clarity on why you need some isolation. But I was wondering, the wonderful openness of your porch and deck where your daughter's sitting, might you consider the cedar coming up to that chair rail height, not the bench height that she's at, but actually the cap rail of that deck, and then maybe having a lattice above it to match the line of the rest. What I'm getting at there as a concept for you to consider, Jason, is the openness to James Street to maintain that based on the deck of your house. Do you understand what I'm suggesting?
I see. So a shorter, solid
yes,
front area there with a lattice on top.
Yes, coming up to the height of your fence that you are proposing, and this would be the only area that you would use lattice, and it's a consideration here for you to consider, and it maintains the openness.
Bob,
yes,
are you talking about a lattice inside the porch frame?
No, not at all. Sorry, I'm saying for his fence that he's proposing, abutting that stucco corner column, that you would keep the cedar portion, the solid cedar portion, up to that cap on your porch there, where behind your daughter, not the one she's sitting on, but the one behind her.
This one.
And then from that height up to the height of the rest of your fence, have a lattice, the same cap all the way around. So it's only to you to maintain the openness that you have on your porch as a facade for James Street.
I see. So it's still the same height as the rest of the fence. It's just lattice above where the cap is.
Yeah, and it's suggestion for the openness. I mean, that's James Street right behind your daughter there, I believe, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so that's a nice yard and so on. It would be nice to keep the transparency. Even when you're in your backyard, you could then see out to James Street and the trees and the houses across the street. That's what this is about.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Other thoughts from the board?
Other comments?
I think, Jason, you want to make, I think part of this is privacy and security. So, I mean, I'm fine with what you proposed at the beginning, and just, I think Bob's comments are just a suggestion.
Yeah, I think I might prefer it to be solid for that reason. If it's, the kind of thing where it won't be approved otherwise, we'll take what we can get. And of course, I would want to work with the contractor on what that would look like too. I can kind of imagine it and think it being all right. And it would certainly discourage people, I think, from just wandering up. It would be nice if people couldn't just kind of glance back there and see a cute little kid hanging out drawing pictures as she does sometimes. But you know,
If there's
what
no other
what needs
comment,
to be done?
yeah,
I'd like
if there's
to,
no other comment, what I would propose is if somebody wants to make a motion as submitted with the suggestion that that be considered.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Lisa,
Second.
do we have a second?
Yes.
Julia, any discussion on that motion?
Curious,
All in
Jason, what's
favor?
the finish going to be? Just out of curiosity, is it going to stay cedar? You're not going to stay?
It would stay cedar, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And just one other comment, if you did go that route, use a rectangular lattice, not a diagonal lattice for the.
Oh, yeah, I that's actually what I was envisioning. So,
Right.
Okay. Okay, any other comment? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Thank you.
thank you, Chloe. Thanks you too.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you. Very good. Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, CA-21-07, 251 Brattle Road, a sunroom addition. Is that applicant on?
Yeah, that's Bob Abbott.
Bob, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Now
Yes.
we can.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, the floor is yours.
This is just a simple sunroom, 14 by 16,
Whoops. Sorry.
off of the rear of this existing house on Brattle Road. Right now, there's just an existing deck that comes off the dining room where those sliding doors are. And in between the deck and their stone patio, which is at a lower level, it's sort of unruly and sort of a no man's zone. So they want to put this room on. It's a nice airy room, and we would be sliding the deck, or basically, building a new deck in between the new sunroom and the retaining wall that separates the upper section from the lower section. And it also gives them good circulation from their existing kitchen. So now it would be one step off the door from their kitchen onto the new deck, and then one step, off of the new sunroom. So it kind of organizes the whole back of the house, gives them a little more privacy on their deck from the neighbors next door. And we just have tried to tie the whole back in together with the new room. The house has casement windows, so we did casement windows with transoms around the new room, and we're tying in a hip roof back into the existing roof, which kind of mimics the upper roof section on the house. That's it. It's pretty simple.
Okay, just for board's edification, I just want to remind everybody this is a non-contributing structure. Does anybody have any comments? Any comments?
You can say it's nice.
Yeah, I think it's a very appropriate addition to this house. Thank you. Well done.
Thanks.
Okay, does anybody want to make a motion?
I will move to accept the proposal as presented.
We have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. You're all set, Mr. Abbott. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, our final C of A-21-08, 115 Wendell Terrace, a driveway realignment. Is that applicant on?
I'm here. I'm on.
Okay,
Hi,
okay,
hi, Chris.
okay,
See, my
Chris.
head might feel it's on delay.
You're
here.
on, Chris.
Okay.
You've got the floor.
Okay. So basically, right now, Kate's got a bunch of pictures, and I don't know how to insert them into this app, so she's going to navigate that, I assume.
I can just let me know if you need me to move.
Sure. Basically, right now, the driveway for our house is in the rear of my property, and our house is situated sideways where the front of it is facing Rugby Road currently. And I think that was maybe by design 100 and some odd years ago when it made sense. But now our house faces our neighbor. So we have two full lots, one in behind and one in front of our house. Both entrances are on the front of our property. So it doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense that the garage access is from the rear of the house. It also eliminates any possibility for us having any type of backyard that really delineates itself from the front to the back. So our wish is to move the driveway, eliminate the driveway from the rear of the house, thereby moving it to the front of the property and having access from the road that way. And there are pictures to illustrate, how we wish to do that. There we go. So that'll be the new, that's the new proposal right there.
So you're reversing the garage, or you're reversing the garage
We'll be
door.
flopping the doors from the left side to the right side. The doors that are on there are aluminum. They're ugly, but we're really not at that stage. So the only thing I'm really trying to get approval for here is to move the driveway and flop the gate over to the right-hand side of the property. It'll be some time in the coming that we'll come back for further approvals for the specific design of the garage door, which we have a thought bubble there on those pictures of what, the direction that we'd like to go. You can see what they look like now. They're just aluminum. And then what we propose them to look like is more, I believe, more appropriate for the property, the way it sets. We don't have those dormers above our garage. It's just a metal roof on there. But the garage that's there, Kate had indicated there was never an application for an approval as to when they did that. It is well over 25, 30 years ago that garage was added. There was a garage, but now there's a 4-car, and we like to maintain it. It's good to have. It is, attached to the property. We can, gain access through the garage to the other side of the house where the main entrances are, but we just like to make it more of a cohesive property and have an actual, the future hope is to have an actual backyard a couple of years down the road, maybe have a swimming pool in the back and
Okay, so right now this application is only for the
driveway, the driveway,
the new driveway,
and the gate, and the gate opening.
Taking out the old driveway.
Yes, we'll be taking out the old driveway and planting grass. And
any questions?
Yes, I had a question if I could. So the entrance to the house is to the north, is that correct?
Yes.
In other words, opposite your current driveway?
Yes.
Okay, great. Tell me, can you I see a circular raised planting in that one photograph of that side of the property, the north side. And I see
that's something that, because right now there are pictures of some over 100, the trees are probably older than the property. And they're, some of them are tied together with cables, and they're just, every time there's a slight breeze, we've got, lumber in our yards, and it's not safe. So a lot of them are just in really, really bad, poor health. So I've shown pictures of the existing trees. So down the road, we plan on, planting some new shrubbery and some new trees, but it's not in the immediate tense. But yeah, we definitely have a lot of shrubbery and trees in the down the road in the medium scope, so to speak.
Okay. What I was trying to suggest here, or this picture reads to me like it might have been. Do you have any earlier plans where this might have been a circular around the center raised garden of a circular carriage loop to the front door? Might the original entrance have been of that type? Do you have any idea?
No, there was no. There's a giant dead tree there in the middle where that about where that, she's got a picture of it there somewhere. Where that shrubbery is, that's gonna be needed to be moved in order to have, maneuverability. Right now, the driveway's about 35 feet from the garage to the end of the where the grass starts, and we've got 6 people living here, 4 of whom have vehicles, and it's just not enough maneuverability. So the driveway is actually going to be about 10 feet wider than what it is now, preferably bringing it to about 44, 45 feet. I can't remember. The proposal has from the garage, but the proposal has the dimensions in it.
Well, let me go one. Let me just go one step further.
Sure.
I think that I would recommend that you find a landscape architect that can give you a little more thought on the value of your yard. Obviously, where the driveway should go, maybe it should or should not go directly through the middle of the existing trees. And granted, the trees are old and need to be cared for. I think a plan should also, this is a large landscape property, and landscape's part of the character of the district. So we're looking at the value of that yard to your property now and into the future. So
Sure.
I think it would be good information for you to have an appropriate landscape architect, somebody has a little historic understanding, to at least do
that's definitely in the plans for us to. The problem is in moving the driveway over any further, there's some power facilities in the right of way that are going to be just prohibitive for that. So where we chose to create the opening and to bring the driveway back was partially due to the fact that there are power facilities underground, and I just don't want to interfere when it comes time for the curb cut to have any issue whatsoever. And just trying to kind of duplicate ease of operation for our existing gate opening to kind of have the same style of opening without creating a huge alteration there. But I understand what you're saying, and I've contacted Bill Pitcher, left him a couple of voicemails. He hasn't gotten back to me. He's made some drawings for me in the past, and for the remainder of the yard, which is the front side as well as the what will be hopefully the rear of the property. There's a lot of landscape that we plan on bringing to the table down the road as well. But I think for purposes of our lifestyle and the needs, the nice thing about the way that we have put a ton of thought into it, and I do appreciate your thoughts and comments and respect your opinion. Where we have it, I've taken some photographs from the right side of the property, from the road and across the street, as opposed to the way it is now. The way it is now, everything's visible and kind of an eyesore when you've got the parking situation going on. If the garage is open, you can see everything from the road. The way that it will be, it is desired to be on the right-hand side of the property because of the elevation of the property now. You won't be able to see anything that's going on back there. So, it'll lend itself more to that natural, you'll have more attention on the landscape and less attention on, hey, there's this big wonky garage here with a bunch of stuff hanging out of it. So that's kind of the theme that we're going for. But we've kind of batted, and Kate will tell you, we've batted this idea around for the past 2 or 3 years. Before we kind of settled on the simplicity of it. And
okay. So the understanding, so the understanding is this is only for the driveway, the removal of existing and installation of the new per your plan. And I would make a suggestion if somebody wants to make a motion, and in that motion, the comment would be made that the actual specific location of the curb cut in the driveway could be modified based on further consultation by the applicant with their professionals.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
the motion
Um,
to accept it. Oh, Kate, you had something?
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say, in the application, Chris, you also included the removal of 2 trees, a cherry tree and a,
Crab apple.
was it a maple? I'm not sure, I can't remember.
Crab apple.
I believe it's a
Crap.
maple. I'm not an arborist, but it's, yeah, it's pretty bad. Like I said, anytime there's any kind of a breeze, it's just splitting. And I've given numerous pictures,
Yep, I see
showing the damage that the tree has endured and
is it this
and
one, Chris?
approximation.
Is it this?
No, it's on the other side. No, that one's, no, not just yet. No, the one's on the other side of the property.
This one,
Um,
perhaps?
no, well, no,
Yeah,
that's
that
the
looks
road.
like a Norway
That's at the road. Okay, so keep going. So there's these crab apples in the front that were never applied for either. That was, I think, Master Cole put those in. There it is.
Oh, there it is.
That
Okay,
that
yep.
piece there, there's a split there. There's disease on this thing. You can see right through, you can put your hand right through the center of this thing. It's infested with squirrels, which I know they're supposed to live there. It's part of their habitat. But we've got massive amounts of these trees on the property. Believe me, they're not going to be lacking any real
Okay.
estate. This thing is just, there it is, the top left corner,
Right.
where it's smack dab in front of the garage there. It's
Yeah,
just,
that's a
yeah,
Norway maple. I've got one
Okay.
I'm taking down.
yeah,
so-
it's,
Yeah, here.
Okay, so we
I
have a
just wanted
motion.
to,
I was going to make the motion, because you're also moving so the motion would be to approve moving the driveway and the gate as
yeah,
well
the
as
gate
removal
opening
of
from one side to the other, correct?
crab apple trees and that maple tree
Yep. Yeah.
as
they're
All right,
submitted.
second on that motion.
Seconded,
Do I have a second?
seconded.
Seconded, Tom. Any further discussion?
I had one, my point on this is that I'm certainly in favor of everything you intend to do. However, I don't see the plan as submitted as adequate. I think the trees should be identified and the driveways should be drawn and located so we know exactly what you intend to do.
That's a comment. Any other comments? If not, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
Opposed?
Any abstention? Motion carries.
What was the
Okay.
vote, please? Could I ask for the vote, please?
There was one declination. That was you, Bob.
Did you get confirmation, Kate, from everyone?
if I can go through the roll,
Is anybody else abstaining other than Bob?
I'm
or
not abstaining. I'm voting negative on the.
Or excuse me, voting negative. I'm sorry. Is anybody voting negative except Bob?
please unmute yourself if you are.
Okay.
Thank you.
Again, motion carries.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Bob.
Don,
All right.
Hey, you guys.
Yes.
can I ask a quick question, Chris? Do you think, Don, it would be useful as for a site visit at some point, just to get a general idea of more in person what this is going to look like?
If in fact the applicant wants to have that, yeah, absolutely. I'm sure we'd be more than happy to do.
I think
so.
maybe after we put forth the drawings, if Bill gets back to me, or if you folks have a suggestion for a local landscape architect, because I haven't been able to get a hold of him, I'd be more than happy. I don't know if you're allowed to recommend or not, but if anybody wants to email me,
Kate will
has my
handle that for you.
email.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
yeah, Chris, I can't recommend, but we certainly
Understood.
have a list.
If you got a list or
of
something, that
people.
would be fine. I
Yep.
appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, and
Yep.
yeah, absolutely. Once we have a larger, more full scope of the completion, yeah, I would be up for a visit for sure.
That'd be great, Chris.
I'd like to just recommend one thing, that if you're gonna get drawings to locate the drive, on the drawings, make sure they locate all those utilities there, and that
Yes.
will help support where you're putting the driveway in relationship
Understood.
to your property.
Yeah, we plan on communicating with Dig Track and getting the acquisition of all that stuff. They'll come out and flag and mark and stuff before
Right.
we even.
UFPO will do that, and then you'll know
Yep.
exactly
Yep.
what's going through.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Chris.
Appreciate you.
Yep. Me
Okay,
too.
great. Any other discussion items on the board?
I do. And again, I'm not sure this is the place to do it, but I did email Kate about 13 Brattle.
Yeah, Kate, were you able to get any further information?
Lisa,
Go
Lisa,
through-
I'm
would you mind
blanking.
to go
Can you-
through what Lisa said?
You want me to go ahead, Don, or no?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. 13 Brattle, they're planning on reconstructing an existing brick carport.
I'm sorry, Lisa. Yeah. Okay.
That's okay. No, it's fine. And I haven't seen anything come through to the board on a
No.
CMA.
And I will check our, well, if anything had come through, the permit desk, I would have been notified. So, I will get in touch with, code enforcement to have someone just go down and have a conversation with them.
Just to let you know, there's a very large pile of brick there and some roofing materials. Looks like they're ready to go. So
Yep, right away. I can do that.
just wanted to let you
And
know.
yeah, and
Okay,
if they're,
thank you for
you
that,
know, if
Lisa.
they're,
Thank you very much.
yeah, and if the plan is to, I mean, we need to know what's happening. If they're planning
Yes.
on you know, rebuilding as is in kind, then you may not see an application come through, but I will confirm that.
I just worry
Okay.
about the matching of the brick, like we've had some
Absolutely.
options.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good
So,
catch.
Oops.
okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Good catch. Anything else? Any other items for discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay,
Or-
thank you.
Or Cynthia.
Thanks,
Or Cynthia.
everyone.
Okay,
Thanks,
thank
everyone.
you, everybody.
Faster.
Stay safe,
Here.
stay well.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye now.